3, 2, 1.
What's your favorite scary movie?
It's simply Greg on the
To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout.
Hey yo, see me and these dudes doing VR games, moving reviews, infused with whatever topics we choose. If we stop it, we lose, so that's why we keep on dropping the news. And you know us as a crew with the popular views. Includes X and Ray, co-host Bree, Millie, SC, and I'm Bryce, so you know we really bringing it live, us 5 in the hive. You liking this vibe, then hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe.
To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. I know you want to go. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. Come and have some fun. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. No matter where you're from.
Yowie wowie, ladies and germs. Ooh.
Look behind you.
I see you.
Sound like it's that time, man. To batten down the hatches. Lock all your doors.
Turn off the lights.
They know what time it is, don't they? This is the one they've been waiting on, bro. We're here.
It's about that time, brother. Spooky season has hit the apex. It's our Halloween special, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it, bro. I mean, you know, cannot lie to you, man. I love scary movies. You know, it's you know, I mean, definitely a favorite pastime for me to find the scariest things you can see or go back to the ones, you know what I mean, the old classics, you know, the Nightmare on Elm Streets and the Friday the 13th and all those things there. And you know, if you can slide a smile or smile two in there, you know what I mean, you know, update it, yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, I feel you, dog. You know, if we can creep into that bag of, you know, like you said, Nightmares on Elm Street, Halloween, you know, time to pull out the ghouls and gals. Come on out to play.
Now is the time. It's what you've been waiting for. Venom, the last dance, baby. We are here. We are here. And it wouldn't be right to start off this show without letting my man X a million, roll that beautiful bean footage.
This is your captain speaking. If you look out to your left, you'll see a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon.
Told you we could fly!
Oh, the sun grows, dude!
Jesus Christ! Everything shit! You're not going to like this.
No, I can absolutely guarantee you I'm not gonna.
My home has found us.
Who sent that thing?
My creator.
Of course.
The symbiotes didn't come here by accident. They were running.
From what? What's his name then? No.
We have something he needs. As long as Venom lives, everything will end.
What are we doing?
We need a disguise.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Why do you keep knocking people out? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, baby, it's a while.
We've come a long way, you and me. But we are strong.
This world can't survive if you stay together.
Oh, baby, it's a while.
But I need him. people.
There we are.
Always remember you.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
Always remember you.
No, this is all the money that we have.
What is this feeling? It's like
This feeling?
It's like all of my problems have gone away. No!
I think you broke my foot.
Eddie, I need more money.
Okay. And that was it. That was the trailer for Venom 3: The Last Dance. Yeah. Well,
That's right. That's right. One last dance, brother.
one last dance. That may make some people sad, and that actually may make some people quite happy that will be the last dance that they ever have to attend. But you are about to find out what we think about that, because you know no one can review it the way we do it, baby. Okay. Okay. So this movie, man, this movie. Just a quick little overview, just to let y'all know. I mean, you just heard the trailers and whatnot, but what is listed as the overview with the synopsis of this movie? Eddie Brock and Venom must make a devastating decision as they are pursued by a mysterious military man.
Period. That's it. That's all.
That's it, right?
If y'all read online what the plot of this movie is, that's the plot of the movie right there.
We're not making that up. Like, seriously, that's literally what it says. That's it. Just one sentence. That's it. That's all you get.
Barely even a sentence.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah. So imagine how we feel, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm gonna be honest with you. That's kind of not what the movie is about, to be honest with you, at all. There is a military man in there. Is he mysterious? Not really. He's pretty. You pretty much know what he's about and where he came from, or in the sense of what he's doing. But not at all. However, there are some creatures that are sent by a more mysterious figure of sorts or whatever, which does make them have to make a very devastating decision. So I would have rewritten that, but hey, I don't make those type of decisions. It's above my pay grade, but whatever. Yeah. Now, the release date for this movie was October 24th. The director was Kelly Marcel. Distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing, based on Marvel Comics, as if you didn't know. Budget was $120 million, and so far as of this taping, they have made $175 million. Good Lord, they've already made their money back in a weekend. Man, that means there were some people who were waiting for this movie. Now, the interesting thing will be is after this weekend, and after people have said what they've said, and after the first batch of reviews like this one, will those numbers keep increasing? We don't know. But without further ado, let's jump right into this. What do you say, X?
Let's dance, baby.
Let's do it. Okay, so for the first time, I actually have the freshest eyes around here as I've just come back from watching this movie. So this has got to be a little weird, bro, because it's usually you with the freshest eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I got to tell you, it does help. I will say it does help, at least as far as keeping everything fresh in my mind. But this was a little tough for me, man. I was coming off of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. It felt a little kind of put together in a sense of it was just to get Carnage in there. Even with the title of it, it was just to get Carnage, because everybody knew about Venom and Carnage and their rivalry and everything in the comments and all that stuff there. I was way more familiar with him than I was Toxin Every other symbiote that they've ever thrown out, I've never even known their names. But Carnage, yes, absolutely. The red one, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Venom's, of course, everyone knows Venom's direct son, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and their rivalry is a little bit more popularized. You know, I believe the other symbiotes kind of trickled down to, you know, shout out to the comic, Venom's comics, more or less, Agent Venom and the Lethal Protector and, you know, all that stuff. I personally feel so. It's kind of like a if you know, you know, with the other symbiotes type deal.
Right. And I don't. And that's the thing. I think that's part of the problem for me is that I feel like even if you don't, the movies almost have a responsibility to let you know what you're watching, who you're watching, and what, you know, what's the history here with these characters and so forth and so on. I think starting with Venom 2, that was where the problem began for me. I was all into Venom 1. I actually liked Venom 1 a lot more than I even thought I would. I really did like it, and I was all up for let's go for Venom 2. Woody Harrelson, you know what I mean? Like, and I listen, I love Woody Harrelson. I love a lot of characters. I don't know if sometimes they put people in there because of their name or the draw, because sometimes I think you could give other people a chance who may not have that box office name or whatever, but they might give you a little bit more into the character. You know, who knows? But anyway, go ahead.
Knock it out the park, kind of. Yeah, that kind of knock it out the park kind of feel. I do feel like there was a little bit of fanfare as far as the casting for Carnage, because everybody kind of felt like he would be a good fit for the role. I do feel like there was a little bit of fan casting there that Sony kind of just went into. Also, his name, like you said, I think, you know, they figure his name could be a massive draw. So,
yeah. He did okay. He did okay, and I'm not putting it all on Woody Harrelson. The writing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Now, when I get to here, I'm gonna tell you, man, there's certain things I look for. One, the runtime. When the runtime for a Marvel superhero movie is under 2 hours, I'm like, okay.
Which technically all three movies have followed suit.
I'm like, okay, you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance because you're taking a chance on not really giving me the character development that I need. And keep in mind now, the reason I'm saying it for number 3 is because Venom: The Last Dance it's it. I mean, it literally said on the trailers, the epic conclusion, meaning this is it. I mean, we gonna throw everything at you. We bringing it all in. This is it. And usually, historically with movies, your trilogy, the third one, it's, hey man, all stops. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. We bringing it all out there. We're gonna end this off. We're gonna blow your mind. All right. And I thought that that's what they would try to go for. I think that we're in a time now where let's give us a bunch of CGI. Let's give us a bunch of flashy, scenes and, you know what I mean? A lot of lights and stuff going, you know what I mean? Like light flashes and just stuff that trying to keep your attention away from the fact that there's no story there. You know what I mean? And if we do that, then we don't have to worry about, the character development and everything like that. And if anybody has been listening to us here at the Hangout, they know that we are big on character development. We actually want to care about the characters. We want to know about them and so forth and so on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you feel me, bro? So going into this, we knew that Stephen Graham, his character, Detective Mulligan, we knew that he was saved because we all saw at the end of Venom 2 that the symbiote saved his life, right? After Carnage had kidnapped him and Shriek tried to kill him and all that stuff there.
Yep, his eyes lit up green.
They lit up green.
Symbolized the symbiote known as Toxin.
Right. Everybody was excited, right? Oh my God, Toxin. And they showed him in the trailer of Venom 3 and they got him locked up and all that stuff here. Okay, so that's a buildup. That to me is a buildup of, oh my God, we got Toxin in here and we got Toxin, we got Venom and we got Null and we got this and we got, so I'm like, okay, they coming with it, bro. They coming with it. So, okay. We do know that the last time we saw Eddie Brock and Venom, they were actually in the MCU.
So in Far From Home, the
Home.
end credit scene was them blipping into the MCU,
right?
For that, and at the end of Let There Be Carnage, it kind of mirrored the same thing, right? So then they find out, obviously, that's at the end of Far From Home, when after Mysterio kind of outs that Peter is Spider-Man, and his face is all over the news, and Venom's intrigued by what he sees. So then we fast forward to No Way Home, post-credit scene,
Way Home,
the third
yes.
Spider-Man movie, and they are blipped back into the Sony reality. So Venom's done in the MCU. Wasn't even that long, but there was a speck of Venom that was kind of left.
Exactly. That's what we were left with, waiting to see, like, hey, what happened with that? And that's what we
gonna do with this?
pretty much pick up at, and now going in, bro, I was like, okay, I like that. I love continuations. Pick us back up where we left off. Cool. I mean, even down to the dialogue, they was saying the same thing, talking about the purple alien and with the stones and all that stuff there. I was like, cool. All right. And then, he gets sucked back into the Sony universe and everything like that. And, but if you notice, they did not zoom in on him leaving a symbiote, you know what I'm saying, there in that universe. They completely took that part out, and they changed it with leaving it in the Sony universe. Cause it was kind of like mirrored the same thing. And, he goes off and does something else. He's going down the street or whatever, and they zoom back to my man in the bar, and there's a piece of that symbiote right there. We all see it from the trailer, right? Because then all of a sudden, Rex Strickland, played by Chiwetel, Ejiofor, he comes in and does a thing, puts the little glass on it, and we're like, okay,
sample,
just a little sample.
Confiscates the sample. Yeah.
Now,
hey, tell me about that gentleman that was just here, man. Tell me what you know about him.
Right.
What you know.
And which old boy really should have said nothing, because he probably just said nothing. He might have been able to stay at his daggone bar, but opening his mouth is what got him like, hey, let's take him with us. And then of course we never see him again. But Chiwetel, of course, now everybody knows him playing Mordor in Doctor Strange. So already having him in this movie, bro, was like, okay, he's still in the Marvel universe, and not in the cinematic universe, but he's still in the Marvel movie in a sense. You know what I mean? These are based on Marvel characters. It's just, Sony owns these characters. I was already.
And we're gonna come back to this point too, because there's someone else in here too that's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
to say the least.
Oh yeah, very very interesting, because they are actually in the Sony universe twice. Absolutely, I know exactly what you're talking about. So
and play the character. You know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So Chiwetel, I'm like, okay, why are y'all rehashing, or why are y'all recycling people when there's so many more people to use that you, especially for what this ended up to be for me, you could have used anybody but Mordor, because now in my mind I have to think, this is not Mordor, you know what I'm saying? So, but whatever, maybe he got a lookalike, you know what I'm saying? They all, they say we look alike sometimes, right? So maybe he's a lookalike or something, whatever. So right then, bro, I'm telling you, man, between run times, just other little things that I saw that I was like, these decisions they're making so far is not giving me the confidence that I need to think that this is going to turn out well. So there were telltale signs already for me, X, that going into it, I'm talking about within the first 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. And that was one of them for me. What about you, brother?
Yeah, because I feel like at the end of the day, like you said, I think there's a lot more to be told, with a lot more rehashing, and kind of like there's no real dots to connect here. You know what I'm saying? You're just kind of emptying a canvas. Like you're just kind of just throwing things down, and it's just like, okay, this is what we have. Let's just work with this. But it's like, it's so many other ways that things could be interpreted and flipped and could be re-explained that, I just think they did a little bit of a drop of the ball of.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Yeah, just a little bit.
For sure. So that was one of them. And then, we go from that to basically, finding a character, being introduced to a character Dr. Teddy Payne, played by Juno Temple. And right then, bro, the way that this character was brought in with I'm talking about they get a whole flashback and everything, you know what I mean? Of
whole backstory,
right?
We gotta establish who she is,
right?
You know
I'm like, oh, this is
develop the character.
This is okay, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. This is going to be somebody. You can see that apparently she's had something happen with her arm, her left arm. There's lines and stuff going down there. You know what I mean? And so she's kind of like she's been scarred in some kind of way. And we find out that she was struck by lightning. Her and her brother. And this left her scarred and all this stuff here. So yep. Not only physically, but mentally, she's, scarred as well and has trauma because of what happened with her and her brother when they were young. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a major character in this right here, in this movie here.
Which if you know, kind of tells the story of a certain symbiote that we'll talk about later when it's time to talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, which I thought that part was cool, but however anyway. So, but what we know, what we know in the movie so far, bro, is that Detective Mulligan now is on the news that he's been saved and whatever, and Rex is like, hey, we got him, wake up, let's go, let's do this, and in this world, Area 51, which we've known, for all this time to be where they experiment on aliens and so forth and so on, is they're demoing it. You know what I mean? They're doing away with it, and they definitely do some foreshadowing in this moment, bro, with this whole acid dump thing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when they got to that part, I was like, okay, why we get to see an acid shower of something destroying something or whatever? But foreshadowing, of course, we just don't know what they're going to do with it, but of course that's how they do. Dr. Teddy Payne made a comment about roaches, you know what I mean, surviving 280 million years and so forth and so on. Like, foreshadowing, okay, you know what I mean? But I'm just going through this thing, bro. Like, I can see what y'all doing, man. Yeah, I can see the strings on your puppet, all right, But
just trying to set it all up. Just trying to set it up.
They was trying, bro. But I do realize too, man. The more and more we do this, writing is important. I mean, you can have some really good actors, man, but you have to write that story and make it flow. And not only make it flow, now your actors got to act it out, and then your editor has to put it in a way that it doesn't just jump from scene to scene to scene. My biggest thing with this that I saw was the pacing was horrible. The pacing was so horrible, bro, because you didn't set up they didn't set up any scenes or get you prepared for it. They just went from this scene to, okay, now we're on the plane. Okay, to now we on to this. Okay, now we at the military base. To now, you know what I'm saying? There was no lead up to it, nothing, bro. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? You're just throwing a bunch of stuff at me right now, and you're not giving me the story. I'm not caring about anybody. I try to care about Dr. Teddy Payne, but Dr. Teddy Payne as this scientific woman and whatever, that was a stretch for me, bro, because she didn't make me feel like I could believe her as that. You know what I'm saying? Just from the I don't know, man, her demeanor, the things that she was saying, it just did not feel right, bro. There's certain decisions that she made, and that even her own staff was questioning, like, like, Teddy, what are you doing? Like, that, you tripping, Shawty, you know what I mean? Like, her own staff is questioning her, like, you are tripping right now. You don't even sound intelligent. So I wasn't into the character, bro. As soon as they got to the military base and she started talking about certain stuff, I just wasn't into it. So again, I'm watching it and I'm just kind of marking. So as I'm saying, bro, we get a chance to find out that they have this underground Area 55, you know what I mean, location that basically has all of these symbiotes. And the one thing I will say, I think you and I spoke about this before, that trilogies are usually supposed to give you a little bit more insight on what went on, like in the first movie and where we got started. So it usually takes you back to the beginning. And there's one scene where they actually show Rex when they did the first initial crash of the symbiote meteor and all this stuff here, where all these symbiotes started to run all these different places and they gathered them up. So this whole time we thought, oh, okay, it was just, Venom and Carnage or whatever, whereas actually, no, not Venom Carnage, but Venom, where actually there were so many symbiotes that landed, but they just got rounded up, obviously by Rex Strickland and his team. But we wasn't aware of that, right? But this is where we find out that, it was a bunch of that, because they are all down there in this lab. And as scary as these things look, man, I mean, these are aliens, bro. We don't know nothing about them. They kind of talk to them like they're pets or something. You know what I mean? Like they treat them like, hey, symbiote, how you doing today? How you feeling? You know what I mean? Like no fear of them at all, bro. I mean, they just so carefree about it. And it's just another work day for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they having conversations about Christmas and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And good grief. But okay.
I think it was due to them, obviously going back to the first movie, we saw the excavation, we saw all that, but we were more focused on, they diverted our attention to the Riot symbiote that was looking basically for who he was looking for.
Right.
So once we pay that back and we come forward and it's like, okay, Dr. Payne seems to be, a caring individual as well. She seems to have obviously done her research on the life forms, and she seems to be mothering these symbiotes. Like, hey, sorry we got to do this, and sorry, but treating them still as individuals, still treating them as life forms, and kind of like you said, discussing Christmas and bouncing all over the place, having normal conversations with like co-workers, aliens, like it's a normal day at the office.
Yes.
Just hey, so regular Monday morning. Nothing too crazy.
Yep. At all. That's how it was, bro. And I was like, oh, okay. Now
that was my first sign that it was a little bit more care involved. A little bit more, okay, I see she's a little bit more passionate about her work than she leads on.
Yeah, very much so.
And Clark Backo's character.
Yes.
It seems like they both care a lot. So one thing doing these reviews with you has taught me is that the movie shows me certain things for a reason. So this was one of those movies where I picked up on a lot of the stuff that they intentionally tried to show me, which kind of get your mind going like, okay, so then that means I expect this to happen at some point. When we'll get it, probably later on in the movie. But stuff like that small stuff, that's what that told me. And like you said, I'm just taking notes. You're
just taking notes. Exactly. And I know exactly what you're saying, because that was one of the things that I questioned when I came out of it. What was this character's motivation? What would draw them to do that if, it's a symbiotes, man. Listen, bro, these are still aliens. We don't know what they would actually do. You know what I'm saying? We can assume, and we know that they look for a host. And if we go back to the first one, we also know that sometimes those hosts don't make it because they can't bond with every host. You lucky if they were able to bond with you. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them, they just straight destroy you. You know what I mean? And you're done. And you kind of have to test and see if that person is suitable as a host. But there's some things that happened in here where it was like, okay, there was no testing at all. People just took a chance and say, hey, come and be inside of me. You know what I'm saying? Please take me, please. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And that was one of my issues. So we go from that. Now, this is the thing I'm talking about right here, X. We go from that scene, right, where you kind of get a flash of Dr. Teddy Payne and the other character, Clark and everything like that. So, or Sadie Christmas. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of her real name, but Sadie Christmas. And from there, bro, we go straight, and I'm talking about straight to the airplane, like you see on the trailers. And Venom is holding on to the airplane. Now, one thing in the trailer that they didn't do in this one. They did. The lady looks outside the thing. He winks at her and all that stuff there, and looks back in the thing. They didn't even do the wink. They didn't even do none of that. I was just like, wow, okay,
yeah.
It's crazy.
That wasn't in the movie at all. Which, by the way, setting up for the fact that we forgot to mention that once they came back to the Sony reality, they were on the run because people assumed that Eddie killed
Detective Mulligan.
Officer Mulligan.
Yep.
Detective Mulligan. So now he's on the run, and then him and Venom, have their little sidebars and say,
Right.
okay, I could clear my name in New York. So now I'm on the travel to go to New York. Let me see if I can figure out how to clear all this up. So like you said, the failure to it just feels so random. Like you said,
Yes.
the airplane scene, we know they're on the run, right?
Yep.
But the setup to kind of shift into that scene where it's just everybody on the plane, nice, orderly. And then, like you said, the trailer scene happens, but it doesn't happen in the actual movie because they just pan out to the plane and Venom,
he's on it,
latching on to the plane, saying, "Hey, I told you we could fly."
Right.
And it's like,
and
it's just like, again, throwing something at me,
just throwing it at me, bro. And then from right there, all of a sudden, now the creator, his creator, Noel, right? And I'm telling you, if y'all like, okay, well, who is that? And y'all didn't really say anything about that. Believe me, they really didn't tell us anything. It was basically just a quick, like, hey, there was a creator, and it started off with the movie just like this, bro. And the way they even started off was like so like, oh my god, it was boring to me, bro. It wasn't a major setup to me, and I'm actually surprised that Andy Serkis did that because he's usually very, very, very engaging as a character. But even when it started off, bro, I was like, okay, he didn't seem opposing. He kept his head down the whole time. You didn't even see his face. You just know that there's this alien being out there somewhere named Noel that basically created these symbiotes, and these symbiotes turned on him. Now, X, can you please tell me why the symbiotes turned on him at all? Did they even say anything like why they were turned on their creator?
Well, basically to keep him locked up from, destroying the world. Apparently it was kind of like a dictator-ish kind of setup. I mean, this is obviously me assuming.
Thank you. Exactly.
With my prior knowledge, because what Price is hinting to is that they don't really exactly explain why Noel is such a evil, vindictive creator god of the symbiotes.
Yep.
To the point where, again, because if we go back, which they went back, Riot was trying to get Venom to come back to the planet.
Yep.
Riot was like, let's go back home so we can finish the final plot to take over the world, XYZ. So now it's like, okay, we kind of get a little bit of why Riot wanted to do that, but it was explained in two movies later. But you still don't explain to me. Of course, all we know right now is just he's a creator of the symbiotes.
Exactly.
He looks menacing. He looks like he could be a world threat if he is broken out of his prison and able to roam the universe.
Right.
He looks like a threat. That's all we know. Why is he a threat to the beings that he created?
Exactly, though. That's what I'm saying. He created them. Why would they turn on their creator? What did he do to them? You feel what I'm saying? Come on, bro. So
that they wanted to leave and find shelter or somewhere
else. Exactly, bro. So again, that is what I'm talking about. And so fast forward back to where we were, where like you said, he's on the run, he's trying to get to New York. Venom just wants to see the Statue of Liberty, so forth and so on. And then all of a sudden, bro, as he's on his plane, because what we found out was, what he had to tell him was, if I'm in my full form, then these things that Noel has sent back, because he has these creatures that can sense a codex, right? The codex is what's going to get Noel out of his prison. And he sends these creatures back, these hunters back, symbiote hunters back to get this codex. And like I said, he's on the plane, and all of a sudden, this thing is he sees him, he jumps up into the plane. I mean, bro, and all of this is happening within seconds, man, seconds, bro. Like no lead up to anything. And then, of course,
Mind you, again, like Eddie Brock is kind of just going through, like, we start the movie off in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then we're just moving around through different planes, different spots.
Yeah.
Now, this thing that was, to our knowledge, back in Mexico, again, in seconds says, that's where the key is. Let me just zoom at the speed of sound, at the speed of light,
Mm-hmm.
and pop up right there on this airplane. Hey, I found you.
Yep.
Let me have that key, big dog.
Yep. Just that quick, bro. And I'm talking about just that quick. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he escapes. But then from there, now we, like you said, geographically, we're just moving from place to place to place to place to place, bro. And it's actually a little annoying because I'm like, can you just stop somewhere, give me a little story, and then you can continue on. But it was like they were on their last tour or something. So they're just going to tour the world or America or however, trying to get to this one place. And in between, these things are gonna happen in between there, but there's not enough time for that, bro. We only got an hour and 50 minutes. So like I said, there's no time for a setup. And then while we're doing that, now we got to jump back to Dr. Teddy Payne and Rex Strickland and what they got going on with the symbiotes and all this stuff here. Personally, bro, it was a jumbled mess. The story was very messy to me. Very messy to me. And the pacing was completely off. So,
yeah, I agree 100%, man. I just feel like, again, like you said, we're going from place to place to place. We know a destination, but we keep getting stopped in these places. Now, this is one of the movies where we have to kind of see Eddie do most of the heavy lifting because, like you just said, if Venom comes out in his full form, the alien will know where exactly his location and where the codex is.
Yeah.
So he'll pop up to that location. So Venom kind of has to stay hidden. Not as hidden, but he has to kind of come out in spurts.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't come out as his full on Eddie's inside of me. He has to kind of come out of Eddie, you know, with his head is popped out of him, or he can, you know, pull out his little tentacles and all that stuff and do all that. He's fine. But as soon as he becomes that full on Venom that we like to see, it's like a beacon, right? It's like a beacon that's created that goes instantly to that alien. He can find him anywhere he is on that earth. And so
and keeping that point in mind, there's going to be a part where we're going to discuss that I'm going to come back to this, and I have a problem with that they did this.
I know what you. I bet I know what you're talking about. So I can't wait to get to it. So okay, all right. So we're doing all that, and in between these travels, right, we run into a family. Right, this family they're on their way. They're traveling, but they want to see the aliens, and it's been basically put on the news. Sorry, I'm gonna edit that out because that must have been over here.
Good,
yeah, it was a loud ass shit. Okay, so as we're traveling, like I said, this whole thing was just one big tour or something. Man, I don't know what this was, a tourist run or whatever. But we run to this family, and the dad is Rise Iffens, played by Martin. Rise Iffens is the actor, but he's playing Martin Moon. He's the dad, and the wife is Alana Ubach, and she's playing Nova Moon. And they're in a like caravan type of thing, and they're rolling. They kind of got the hippie vibe, right? And they're singing their kumbayas and stuff like that. And they want to see aliens. I think they said they spent their life savings to take this trip to see the aliens because they heard about Area 51 shutting down. Bro, I gotta be honest with you. I could not figure out the purpose of this family. I'm talking about, bro, as far as to move the story along at any point, I could not find a purpose for this family X, but they were there. And of course, they're there to interact with some of our characters, Eddie Brock being one for sure. When this happened, man, I was just sitting here looking at it like, okay, why again? Like, what is their purpose, and why do you have them in here? Exactly. Like, how do they move this story along? And so, this particular character, bro, just as one we mentioned before, I'm pretty sure this is the one you were talking about when you talked about a character being in here. What do you want to say about my man, Mr. Martin Moon, played by Rise Iffens?
Yeah, so it's one of those, if you know, if you pay attention. I believe he played a certain doctor in a certain amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe he was Kurt Connors, if I'm not mistaken, inside of Sony's second adaptation of Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man franchise, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
So listen, man, this is one of those things where it's like we referenced earlier, like, why are we kind of stepping on things a little bit? Like, why are we kind of like, for lack of a better term, and shooting ourselves in the foot? You booked this character to be a villain in the same universe as Venom, but just for a different reason. Now all of a sudden we're supposed to look. He's got both arms. He can play guitar. You know what I'm saying? He has it's almost like he's been cured of his lizard disease.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's got a family. He's a conspiracy theorist at heart, if you will.
Right.
Just out with his family on a road trip, just trying to see some aliens. You weren't not an alien per se, my dog. You were a scientist turned into a reptile.
Yep.
Last time we seen you in a Sony/Marvel film.
Right.
But now you're Martin Moon, a hippie and alien enthusiast.
Yep. Amazing, bro.
Yep.
Amazing to me.
And to be honest with you, I think he reprised, if I'm not mistaken too, he reprised the role in No Way Home.
He did.
So the movie that connects in between this, the Lizard was in No Way Home.
Yep.
So he crossed over to the MCU as well.
Just as Venom did. And he was supposed to go back to his home. What we did not realize, though, was when he goes back to his home, that he was going to become a completely different person instead of being Kirk Connors, and now he's Martin Moon. And it makes no sense whatsoever at all why they would do that, bro. Why would they even play with the fans like that? To the point where there was a whole thing where the director had to reveal to them that, no, he's not playing that character. And they're like, well, why? And why is he in here? It makes no sense whatsoever, man. Listen, bro, for the character that was, they could have had anybody play that. Anybody, bro, that was not already in the Sony universe. My point about this, X, is this was extremely lazy to me, bro. Even down to the casting. It was extremely lazy. And it was like, hey.
I can't argue that, brother. I can't defend that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, so you don't, it's kind of like, okay, what are you doing with the viewers that come to see these?
Yeah.
Like, I get you're trying to pay off the trilogy, but using actors outside of this franchise that aren't really introduced, or they've had other roles in your universe, and now you brought them back, like we're supposed to just forget that he was the Lizard. Like, we're supposed to just forget because we just came from the MCU, right? You just showed us that we were in the MCU for just a blip and then came right back. So we're supposed to forget that Rex was somebody else in the MCU, but blip back with you guys to be this military sergeant.
Yeah. Yeah, brother, I'm telling you, as I'm watching this, I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Why are y'all doing it? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just gonna say this. There are quite a few of them there that were there for a check, and it's quite obvious. I don't know if some people read the script, which I know some actors will read the script, because you'll find out later, like, oh, such and such turned this role down. And sometimes they turn a role down and they're like, I regret that because the other actor came in and they killed it and the movie was great. And then some of them are like, oh my God, man, I dodged a bullet on that one, And this is probably one of those ones that where they were like, no, I saw the script and it was crap. It was absolute garbage. And I decided, no, I'm not going to. I care about my reputation. So, and I don't need some money that bad. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if some of these actors are in some type of financial distress and they just feel like, you know what? I don't care what that script said. I got to pay these bills. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just kind of what it felt like for me, bro.
I don't know, because I wouldn't even want to put that on those actors' jackets like that. I would literally just, I would even rationalize it to even say maybe just Sony themselves making that call. They just said, "Hey, I think he would be great for the role. Let's cast him as the role." Like, like you said, lazy casting, but without doing the back catalog and research of what y'all already did. But it's just like they were so. I guess you kind of referenced this earlier, right? They were so, let's just get this out and let's just get this over with, that it reflected all throughout.
Oh yeah. Hey, that
from casting to the final footage.
Yeah, it could be. And then if you listen, here's the thing. When we'll see on VH1s or whatever later, and then you hear about some actors going through some things at certain times, and you find like, oh, they actually were in a little bit of distress at that moment or whatever. Because and the reason I'm telling you for real, I'm not disputing what you're saying. What I'm saying is I read the little thing about what's his name, Al Pacino, and he talked about some roles that he took. That he was like, yeah, I only took that role because I was broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, whoa. Oh, okay. Well, that explains that for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what made me wonder about when I read that article. It made me wonder about like, why would they go? Would they not think about that? Did the lizard, Kurt Connor, did he not think about, hey, you do know I was in the Sony universe already, right? Oh, nah, don't even worry about it. Nobody will care. You know what I mean? Like, yo. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing, bro. But it happened, and we're actually here talking about it, bro. And we're not the only ones that feel that way, because there are some die-hard fans who are like, dude, you know what I mean? So that part there, man, was definitely disappointing to watch them do that. To put these characters in there, this family in there that did not move the story along at all. The jokes fell flat. You know what I'm saying? If they were supposed to be there for comic relief, the jokes fell so flat. And I'm just like, okay, like I said, man, by this time, X, I just want to get it over with. Let's just get to the end. Now, by this time, bro, we're with the family gets us to Vegas. Now we're in Vegas, and now we're in the part where you see a lot of the trailer where, Venom is in Vegas, and he's knocking out the guy to get the suit, because we find out, of course, you can't just go into Vegas dressed however you want to, right? I mean, I think by this time he was coming from Mexico, had the same clothes he had on in the bar, flip-flops, you know what I'm saying? You can't come into a Vegas casino looking like that, right? So he got to go and get a little cleaned up, you know what I mean? He goes in there, of course, and he's in there doing his thing. He's acting like a gambler, how they act, you know what I'm saying? Losing his money and saying he needs more money and going crazy and so forth and so on. And quite conveniently, who does he run into, X?
They run into the beautiful Peggy Lou, aka Mrs. Chen. Who's been with the franchise obviously since the first movie. Yeah. I have a hot take though, Price. Let me see if you with me. Okay. Let me see. I'm just if you don't mind.
Let's go.
None of this Vegas stuff was needed.
Not a bit.
It was all of it was filler to help get us to the final act, and none of it was needed. You could have took out all of this.
Yep.
All of it wasn't needed.
You know how I know too, bro, and you know how I know like this was filler, and I'm glad you called it that. Please, y'all understand what filler is. All right, just like artists who have albums, right? One of your favorite artists' albums, okay? And you have that, you buy the album because they had a hot song on the radio, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get it. And then you listen to the album, and you're like, oh my God, that's the song that I heard on the radio, and maybe one more song is great. The rest of those songs are filler songs. They're just there to fill up the album, to give it a reason to sell an album and not just the singles. Well, what X is referring to is the fact that this whole Vegas scene, everything in it was exactly that. It was just filler to fill out the hour and 50 minutes, because it, just like the family in the car, it moved the story in no way, shape, or form possible.
Now, mind you, I what I'll say is, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I will say though that the family scene, to me, I perceive that as more development between Eddie and Venom. Kind of, more or less, kind of like look how far we've gotten from. I was about to get married, alien parasite. Now I gotta defend the world. Now Now I gotta protect this woman that I love. Even though she's moved on, she doesn't, but I keep having this inner buddy cop monologue with the symbiote that I'm attached to. So I just feel like that brought them as characters full circle. Now,
to the fact that they were because they were in the car with the family. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that scene kind of leading them.
You just
to
reminded me
Vegas.
of something, dude.
Like, I feel like, okay, that was cool because it helped kind of develop their relationship, them characters. Cool. But getting to Vegas, the whole, all that, it just wasn't necessary. But go ahead. What did I remind you of? Talk to me.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you said what you said. Because, I mean, hey, man, we both got our opinions about it, and that's great. I'm going to tell you why I was saying what I was saying. There was a line that he said right before they were pretty much, right, I think right when they dropped him off, or they was about to drop him off or something. And he said, this is a very nice this is a very nice family, Eddie. you know how you talk, Eddie. This is a very nice family, Eddie. I'm glad I did not eat them. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. That's a little contradicting, because I could have sworn that y'all agreed that you would only eat bad people. That was the agreement. If you're going to eat anybody, you're going to bite their heads off and all that, you can only eat the bad people, which makes you the lethal protector. So that line to me made no sense whatsoever, bro. And that's what I'm saying. It contributed to my point of.
Wait. Well, I mean, are we looking at this family like, because Venom is doing the sing along?
He is.
Eddie's the one that's kind of like look.
Yeah, get me out this car.
Yeah, and Venom's the one that's more or less bonding with the family more than Eddie is.
Exactly.
So I don't think in that eyes it kind of views them as bad people.
No. He said, that's my point. They're not bad people. The line that he said was, he was like, Eddie.
I see what you're saying. The fact that he even acknowledged
that he could have ate them. Why would you even think that if you're supposed to only be eating the bad people? You feel what I'm saying? The line was not even necessary, bro.
Which Eddie has taught you to kind of read between the lines of who's bad and who's good.
Exactly. Which makes him an anti-hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not quite a hero, but he's an anti-hero because he only, kills the bad people. You know what I mean? Which in turn kind of saves the good people. So, yeah, man. But again, bro. Oh, but like you said, we're in Vegas. You right? We in complete agreement on this one, dog. Vegas was not needed. And there's a part, and I'm wondering if what you were talking about was the contradiction of Venom when they're with Mrs. Chen, right? And that's why I want to lead up to Mr. Chen. Conveniently, they meet Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen is in there balling. Boy, she winning money. She got a room. I mean, like she got a penthouse. You know what I'm saying? She in a penthouse suite. She doing her thing. And she invites him up there like, hey, man, you look a little dirty. You know what I mean? Let you come on, get cleaned up in my room. You know what I mean? And for some odd reason, as we've told the audience already, that anytime that he turns into Venom, his full form, he creates a beacon, man. He creates a GPS pointing right to him. But for some reason, bro, maybe it's because the movie's called Venom: The Last Dance, and maybe he's like, you know what? I can't have a whole movie called The Last Dance and not dance one time in here. You know what I'm saying? It's Mrs. Chen.
None of it was needed. You basically, that's how lazy the writing is. Because then you basically, again, Venom. Once that thing popped up on the plane, you remember Venom's initial reaction.
Yep.
Okay, I'm scared to even fight this thing, but Eddie's like, dog, you can't leave me out. I can't do this.
Yep.
You gonna have to. So they find a way to beat it, right? And then we come to find out that it lives, right? Cool. But the scariness that Venom had once they landed, he was all nervous, peeking around, scared. Like, are they really gonna find? Like, you basically cut that in half. By later Venom saying, I want to dance, screw this.
Yep.
But if you take your full form, that thing is gonna find you and the codex because it's a beacon, like we already said. So why diminish and the writing of the movie by having that in the exact same act?
Yep.
Like, we're still in the second act before we get to the third act, and we already are contradicting ourselves. You're telling the viewer two different things now.
Yep.
Okay, Venom is scared of these things, but doesn't care enough and isn't that scared to where he sees Mrs. Chen and he just wants to dance.
He just want to dance, bro.
In his words, cut the rug.
Cut the rug. Everything is going out the window now. Like his life, Eddie's life, the world, whatever. That's all out the way just so I can get one dance. I'm in Vegas. It's my last chance. You know what I'm saying? And I just gotta do this. And I'm gonna tell you something. The best line in that whole movie to me, bro, I'm not lying to you, dog, was almost the fourth wall breaking a little bit when Eddie basically is saying, when did y'all rehearse this? You know what I'm saying? Like, because they step for step, boy, it looked like Dancing with the Stars in there, bro. I'm serious. I'm like, what is going on right now? But I'm talking about, bro, was it cool to see Venom dance? I guess, but was it worth it, bro? Was it worth them contradicting what they said? Just like you said, bro, was it diminishing the writing? Was it worth that? And it was not to me, man. It really wasn't, bro. But again, I'm just like, okay, y'all know this is the last one, so you're just gonna throw everything out there and say, you know, whatever, we'll see. Yeah, but you're right, bro. That was the second act, which that part right there after that led into the third act. And now we're back in Area 51, and you know, we finally got Eddie and Venom. They are now separated because of what happened, because of the actions of Venom, basically, right? They're now both separated.
Because of him taking the full form.
Yep.
That thing attacked the casino that they were in. So then once they outsmarted it, because again, they realized, Venom, you just have to go back in.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But then that leads, because again, they're on the hunt. Mm-hmm. Eddie Brock is a wanted man. So they keep panning to cameras in certain locations to where facial recognition is picking up Eddie's face. Because again, they can't walk around as Venom.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be Eddie. So the military, everybody know exactly where Eddie is in Vegas. At this point, after they've talked to Toxin, that they've come to understand to keep these things from unlocking, Noel, Venom, and Eddie, who exist together, one of them gotta go.
Yep.
One of them gotta go. So their mission is to separate them and then dispose of one of them. But we all know who the military wants to dispose of, and dispose one of them. So now, because of the actions of Venom, they get captured, separated and captured, which, like you're saying, leads us into the third act.
Yeah, man. And again, very lazy writing. I mean, you know, if you want to look at it, you could say, okay, well, the Vegas thing was for them to get caught and go to the third act, but very lazy. But now, you know, and thank you for bringing up Toxin again, because that's the whole thing. I actually forgot about Toxin, and I'm like, they kind of wasted Stephen Graham's, you know, talent. They wasted Toxin in a sense, you know what I mean? You really didn't get a chance to see him, you know, do any Toxin type of stuff. You know what I mean? That made sense to me. And you know, of course, once the whole big explosion happens, as far as the creatures are there, and you know, Noel has sent more to come get him, and I mean, bro, all the symbiotes are out and whatever. By this time, bro, it's like, okay, they led us all the way to this part so they basically can show off multiple symbiotes and what they can do. Because again, there was no lead up to them. There was no story behind them. There were random scientists.
Fortunately,
I'm just saying there was random scientists that
names.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't get a chance to get the names. Even the scientists, though, bro. That's what I'm saying. you have to bond with these symbiotes, you know. So there was no time for bonding with them or anything like that, you know. Even if they had certain ones going up to the little glass protector thing, they was like, hey such and such, coochie cool, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, of course that symbiote is gonna go to them because they bonded with them, you know what I'm saying? They've been talking to him the whole time, and none of that, bro, none of it. So yeah, bro, it was so thrown together.
But it is one of those things where Dr. Payne and you know, Miss Christmas, you could kind of tell through the setup of the movie that they were gonna be hosts for somebody. Sure. One of the symbiotes. You didn't know who, because obviously, again, the symbiotes have names. Right. They are people at the end of the day too. It's just, you know, we just never got told their names. So you kind of knew those two. Okay, whenever they get bonded. But you're right, the random security guard that, you know, just so happened to get saved by one, because he was pretty much...
He was done.
He was almost done. He was pretty much almost done. But then got caught with the symbiote in time to save him. And everybody, you know, the random hosts.
Yep.
It was just kind of like there's no bridge of connection there. They're just jumping in there because conveniently we have a threat that we need to get rid of.
Yeah. I just didn't like it, man. I just did not like that. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about the scientists. I didn't care about the symbiotes. I didn't care about any of that, bro. I care about Venom, obviously. You know what I mean? Didn't care about Toxin. You know, didn't spend enough time with him, you know, to really care. He was there to explain Null more in a sense and why these things were coming, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But that was about it. That's how they utilize him as a character. And they build, you know, they do this whole build up of, oh, we're gonna have Toxin in here. Like, yeah, you're gonna have Toxin just to talk, and that's it, pretty much. But yeah, like you said, with Dr. Teddy Payne, you kind of knew she was, you know, what she was, because when she first saw Toxin, she was like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. And you're like, beautiful? Like, look at this thing slithering around the room with these big old sharp teeth, and it's beautiful. Like, girl, come on. But that's just like some of them crazy people who like to go swimming with sharks and all that till they get their leg bit off.
But that's what Rex called it out on too. Yeah, all right now. It's beautiful. All right now. All right now. Now look, you just a scientist. All right, you gonna stay in your lane. You sound a little too crazy. Like you a little too attached to these symbiotes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she was. I mean, they gave her that crazy look too. I mean, she looked the part of someone who he was kind of insane, but she shouldn't have been. She wasn't supposed to be. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah, it was very messy, man. And of course, we all knew that Venom: The Last Dance, right? And it was advertised as this was gonna be Tom Hardy's last one and whatever. So it was a lead up to basically say, this is it. He's not going to be Venom anymore, and so forth and so on. I'm not going to spoil it as to what happened, as to why that is the case or whatever. But of course, I mean, come on, man. You know, they said foreshadowing. They said, listen, one of you, you know what I'm saying? One of you will have to go if Null is not, you know, to find you or whatever, or because he's going to just keep coming, no matter how many of these things you kill, if you can, because as we saw, every time you chop them up, split them up, whatever, they just come right on back together. They keep on coming. Like, how you going to beat something like that, right? But yeah, man. So again, bro, I just, come on, bro. I was very disappointed, man. I was very disappointed. So again, we could talk this thing into the ground, dog. It was very messy. The pacing was off. You know, to me, characters that were put in there didn't need to be in there. You know, certain actors that were used that was already used in other films that were based on the superhero stuff and Marvel stuff was used. It just was not good decisions made all across the board for me. I did make sure I stayed, and you told me to stay with, you know, for the mid credit thing, and I'm like, I waited that long just to see that.
Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 credit scenes. If you're listening to this review, there's one mid and one post. You can make your assertion as to which one you prefer to stay with, but there's 2.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you. So yeah, man. For me, bro, I'm talking about, dog. Lord have mercy. I can jump right into mine, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, bro, that
But what I tell you about that last one, dog. I said, hey, I don't know how you gonna feel about waiting around for that last post, but
you know what, the last one, bro, was the foreshadowing I was talking about when Juno was saying what she was saying, you know. But yeah, man. So
go ahead.
For me, I it takes me back to the foreshadowing that we mentioned earlier when she wanted to talk about how cockroaches last for 280 million years. So again, foreshadowing, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? Because to me, for what they did with this one right here, bro, they don't need to tie anything else to this. Just like with Morbius, they don't need to tie anything to it. Just let it die. Mm-hmm. It's in cinematic history now, but just let it die and don't tie anything to it. Just start over with something else and give us a good movie. Cause this for me, bro, was not it. I really did have high hopes for it because of what, you know, I felt about part 2. I thought, okay, man, this is your last one, Tom. This is your last one, dog. I know you ain't gonna go out like that, bro. But he went out like that to me, bro. Listen, even with some of his acting, bro, he seemed like he was already past it. You know what I mean? Like I wondered if he did like a 3-picture deal. You know,
that's the consensus I'm reading too. It seems like a lot of people feel that way too.
It was dialed in.
All around, it just felt like let's just get this over with.
It was dialed in, bro.
Just film it and get it out of using the drunk excuse for the first half of the movie.
Yeah, the hangover and the kind of. Come on, dog. Come on. So that for me, bro, was like, you know, like I said, we've talked about this whole review with the character development, with the pacing, with the writing, with everything about it. It felt like you signed on for a 3-picture deal. This is your last one, your last obligation. Just get through it, bro. Please, just get through it and we'll let you go and you can go on about your business. And he's like, all right, fine. You know what I mean? And that's what I got from this. I can't get my time back. Now, however, as I said before, it's not Joker 2. I guarantee you I would watch this right here before I would watch Joker 2 again. So if people want to know if they want to put it up to something, it's not as bad as Joker 2. But it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. If you are a Venom fan, you will absolutely have some type of disappointment because you're not going to get the Venom that you got in the first movie. You're not even gonna get the Venom that you got in the second movie. You know what I'm saying? So this here was totally, bro, not the swan song that he could have gone out on, and I was completely disappointed. I won't drive it anymore. I won't beat a dead horse. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this one a 5. I'll give it a 5.5.
Oh, I see what you did there. You know, Venom jumping between animals was kind of a refreshing take. You know, no. Yes.
Yeah, jumping between animals.
All right. We don't have to beat
that. That's because you know why he jumped between animals? You know why he jumped between animals, X? Because they had nothing else, dog. They had nothing else. No writing. They had nothing, dog.
Say it with your chest, Bryce.
Bro,
say it with your chest.
They had nothing, dog. The writers had nothing for you. So they said, you know what? Let's have them jump into a horse. Ooh, you know what'll be cool? A Venom squirrel. Ooh, you know what'd be even cooler? A Venom fish. Come on, bro. Stop.
Let's be honest, man. You know what this gave? This gave a project that definitely got affected by the writer's strike.
Yeah. I give you that.
This gives a product that was, and maybe I don't want to give nobody a cop out, but maybe this was a movie that was affected by the writer's strike. Like, you know, maybe it started off good, but just went south.
I'll give you that, bro. I hope that's the reason. I do, bro, because otherwise. You're asking us to pay our money for something we could have probably written better. No. I hope that's what it is, bro. So, yeah, that's a good point.
No real, like, okay. Riot, Carnage, definitely bad guys. Mm-hmm. Bryce, can you name the bad guy of this film? What was the main antagonist?
It would have had to be Noel. However, you only saw Noel for like 2 minutes. The whole movie. The total of 2 minutes screen time, the whole movie. So, no. It was Noel and Void.
And that's my point. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Mm-hmm. Nothing was definitive about this film. There's a lot of filler, but nothing definitive.
Yeah.
But like you said, we don't need to beat the dead horse, man. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I think it's time to rate. I think it's time to rate this thing, man. Let's just go out on our swan song just like they wanted to at this point, man.
Yep. Well, you got mine already, so that's like I ain't waste no time with that. You got mine, dog.
I would say, I feel like with this film, lazy writing, no setups, no definitive plot, it's a lot of stuff to ding this movie on. I don't like that this is the end of the Venom franchise. I don't. Toxin, Agony, Lasher being the 3 out of the symbiote squad, kind of teasing that they tried to pay homage to the Venom comics, but it's I don't know, it was all over the place, man. It was all over the place. I think for my rating for this, like, I feel compelled to, I don't know, my gut, I'm gonna go with my gut here, because I feel like we've said everything that we can say, right, about this film. So I think the only thing left to say is 7.5.
Okay, you being nice, and I appreciate you, dog, because somebody got to do it. Somebody has to.
I will be that guy because of my love for my favorite symbiote, and this being the conclusion of the franchise. I will be that guy. Realistically, this is a 6.57 at best, but I will be nice and give it the extra 0.5 instead of 7.
Okay. Well, hey, that gives us a average of 6.5. I mean, that's being nice to me, and that's cool. Some people some people don't need story and all that other stuff that we talk about, and that's fine, because this is our job as reviewers. And that's cool. And some people are not going to agree with this. They're going to like, oh my God, what do you mean you didn't like the Venom kangaroo? No, I didn't like the Venom ray gun. You know what I'm saying? Like they might as well had Ray Gun come in there with some breakdancing Olympics and have Venom get into her. You know what I'm saying, or something, bro. Like, I would have probably found that more entertaining than what I saw. But all the rest of it, nope, wasn't happy with it at all, bro. So yeah, I was just disappointed, man. I really thought they was gonna do Venom a little bit more justice than that, and we got what we got.
I think we all were hoping for that, and yeah, I think we were all hoping for justice and just a rightful conclusion. Not even so much as a conclusion as your post-credit scene could have showed, but more or less something a little bit more definitive, man. I think it could have went out on a better note than what it went out on, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. But it's all good. They all can't knock it out the park, and we're gonna still keep going, and we're gonna keep reviewing. Just want to do something real quick, man, before we go into the rest of it. We definitely we planned on starting off with that, but we didn't. So right now, I do have to say, it is absolutely Scorpio season, man, and we gotta shout out the Scorpios out there. You know what I mean? Seriously. So Scorpios, this is your season. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there celebrating their birthday in this season right here. You know what I'm saying? I know quite a few Scorpios. They're cool people. You know what I mean? Definitely, hold you down, got your back. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to shout out to the Scorpios out there for sure. You know what I mean? We did not forget about y'all. So please, if y'all held on, I'm hoping that y'all hearing this right now, but shout out to the Scorpios out there. Please enjoy your season.
Salute to all my Scorpions, man. Ben, Dom, Majin Sin, shout out to Rachel, shout out to Brittany, shout out to all my Scorpions out there, man. Shout out to y'all.
Oh,
this is y'all time to shine, baby.
Oh, we got the names drop it out there. Oh, okay. Well, sure. Well, we got a Scorpio right here in house. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So we'll start.
And who is that?
Oh man, come on, man.
Hell.
What? That is producer Timmy up in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yes, shouty.
Timmy.
Yep. And for the first time, she don't need to write that down because she already know that she is a Scorpio. You know what I mean? Shout out to Janae.
Like we can't,
Yeah.
I think a shout out, I just feel like, dropped a little bit of names so we could go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah.
Our producer deserves that, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Absolutely. You got to do it. You know what I'm saying? No Scorpio. Shout out to Janae out there. So, Timmy, Janae, all the people that you just said, for sure. Happy birthday to all of y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? And enjoy your season. Okay, so quote for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing right quick, man. Listen, the quote for the day is, I am in charge of how I feel. And today,
that's right,
I am choosing happiness. I love that.
We choosing happiness. Dog.
Yes.
You are in control. You are in charge. Control what you can control.
That's right. And I'm gonna choose happiness, even though I wasn't happy about what I saw. So because I wasn't happy about what I saw, I'm gonna choose to be happy instead. I love that. Yes, I'm not gonna let the disappointment.
Let's still choose happiness, brother. All right, let's
you know what I mean?
Choose happiness. You know what I mean?
Oh boy. All right, man. All right, so
how we feel, but
all right, bro. Go take us out, man. What's that hangout mantra one time, brother?
Hi. Listen up. We always got to lead y'all with our mantra, and it always goes, it's not the quantity of people, it's the quality.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
We love it. And speaking of quality, we definitely can't lead this without shouting out to our cohorts out there. You know what I'm saying? CBR, SC, and of course, Bree, 40. Millie. You know what I'm saying? Bree, yeah, for sure, man. Bree, and listen
to the gang, man.
For all y'all to be wondering, like, who be doing those thumbnails and stuff like that? That's Bree 40 Millie. Bree 40 Millie be putting it down, you know what I'm talking about? So we appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thug-tism. And please don't forget, y'all. Please like. And subscribe.
And subscribe.
And turn on your notifications.
Notifications. Please, you need to know when we drop. I told y'all we back and we are back.
That's right.
We back in rotation. We're not leaving y'all just yet.
Yet.
We here. Turn them notifications on. Like, subscribe. Tell your friends to tell a friend to tell a friend.
That's right. Because we ain't going nowhere, y'all.
And sliced bread, dog. Come on now. We ain't going nowhere.
That's right. Hey, y'all. Till next time, we'll see y'all again. Peace.
Yeah, we wow.